All right, so welcome to the Shooters Gotta Shoot podcast, the number one fastest growing real estate media focused podcast in the whole world. We have Jarrett and Drew from Canada today from Quiksell. You guys
Quiksell Real Estate Media.
Quiksell Real Estate Media. We're going to dive into it in just, if you guys are new to the podcast, this is a podcast where we don't sit around and waste time talking about gear and nerding out about Lightroom. We're here to talk about business and how to scale and make more money. Let's jump into it. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the U.S.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Vegas is not what I was expecting. This hotel is ridiculous.
Yeah, what's the first impression? Huh?
Yeah, literally we get off of the plane.
Yeah.
And there's slot machines at the airport. Like,
Yeah.
I've never seen that. That must be only a Vegas thing.
Were you guys tempted or no?
No, we don't gamble.
Okay, nice.
We're all business. We're here on business.
I love it. Cool, man. Well, let's jump into it. So first things first, we'll kick it off with the first segment, revenue check. So tell me what you guys are on track to do this year in revenue with you guys in business.
We're on track to do right around 700.
Awesome.
At the beginning of the year, we were shooting for $1 million.
Yeah.
But with cost to acquire and like cash flow, we couldn't make it work. So
Tell me the story about how you guys got into business.
this is actually a good story.
Story. Yeah.
So I was doing a social media marketing company.
Sweet.
And I started that when I was 17 and grew it to about $100,000 to $200,000 a year just on my own.
Sure.
That was the most profitable I've ever been in my life. I had no employees or anything else, just doing all the services.
Yep.
And I just ended up working with so many people in real estate, like landlords, realtors, home builders, that it made sense to start getting the gear. Like we got a Matterport, camera, all that stuff, and started hiring. And so at a certain point, we had to branch out and just make it its own thing. Like it had to be just real estate media because that became kind of our bread and butter.
Sure.
And then Jarrett was doing his own thing with like media sales at a totally separate company, but we knew each other. Like we'd go out for lunch and stuff like that.
Sure.
And I kept telling him, because Jarrett, we call him RoboCop. Like he'll just do sales. Like he'll just like the crazy stuff that you would never do. Like you don't want to call that client, they're pissed or whatever. Like Jarrett just does it.
Savage.
And I'd always say, man, you got to come work. Like you got to come sell our stuff. Like you got to come sell it. One day he just walked in and he's like, finally, I'm ready. And I was like, okay, start tomorrow. Comes in with like a huge Folgers thing of coffee, like a big tin. I was like, what is this guy doing? Like, what is this? He opens it up and it's just full of business cards. He's like, I brought leads.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That's our story.
Sweet, man.
This is actually kind of like pretty funny, but before I was even doing like the media sales thing, I was doing car sales. And during like Schmovid, there was like a lockdown for a month in Canada. So I was laid off from my car sales job and I was pretty much living with my at the time girlfriend for like a month or whatever. And I was sitting around and I was, kind of like contemplating things. And I was like, I'm pretty good with the customers, like when they're at my desk. I just need like more customers. So I was like, is that more of like a marketing thing or whatever? And then my girlfriend was like, there's this guy who went to like my high school and she was talking about Drew. And she was like, you should just reach out to this guy. So I reached out to him and it didn't really like work out or whatever. But we ended up meeting at this like networking thing a year later. And as he likes to say, I pretended to be a member when I, well, allegedly, but anyways, we went on for lunch and then we ended up like working together.
Dope, man.
A few months later.
Sweet. Yeah. So tell me about the process going from you two, I'm sure you guys didn't just instantly snap your fingers and have a bunch of different locations doing all this revenue. Tell me about the process of scaling things up from just you guys to where are you guys at now? And then let's rewind back.
Well, right now we're 3 locations, Saskatoon, Calgary, and Edmonton.
Sweet.
A combined revenue, so it's fluctual, right?
Sure.
So because it's in Canada.
Sure.
Peak season, we do about 76,000 a month.
It's awesome.
In December last year, I think we did 20 something.
Sure.
So it dies. Like it's really cyclical.
Sure.
So we had Saskatoon, and that was when I was doing like the social media marketing stuff. That's where we grew up. And so that was like taking candy from a baby. Like I was like known in the city. Like I knew like the realtors that like ran teams and stuff. And I get clients really easily. It was no problem. And I ended up presenting the business plan to a group of consultants. Just like, they asked me to, and it was just like having fun kind of thing.
Sure.
And one of them said, I like this business and I want to bring it to Calgary as a franchisee.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So that was probably 2.5 years ago.
Sure.
And for anybody who doesn't know, worst idea ever. Doing a franchise, I don't know what you think about this. I think it is the worst possible thing to do in this business.
Franchise?
Yeah.
Like legit.
Yeah, like we had to pay for lawyers to make a franchise agreement.
Yeah.
30 grand, gone.
Yeah.
Months of time to build out everything, like with the lawyers, all gone.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for so many reasons. Like it's a low cost to entry, so you don't really need the outside capital. That's the first thing. Second thing is that you have to just like train these people anyways, but they're going to like run it and it's going to be on their like ambition.
Sure.
So you might as well just have your own ambition.
Using your name. Yeah.
Using your name. Basically every part of the real estate media business, you can just do better like privately owned.
100%. Yeah, agree with that. And so cool. You guys expanded that location. And then where'd you guys go from there? You mentioned 3, right?
Well, yeah, so it failed. So we launched it and, it failed. Like they had medical issues and they were like, we can't do this anymore.
Sure.
And which is fine. No big deal. So me and Jarrett flew down to Calgary for a month. Wow. And we just like rehired everybody, retrained, got all new clients, like completely restarted from scratch.
Yeah.
And that was just over a year ago now.
Okay.
And we're at over 100 grand in that location since then.
Sweet. So you guys pretty much came in and turned it around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sweet.
6 figures in a year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What have been some of the things you think have made you guys successful? If you think about character traits or habits or mentalities, mindsets, what's the reason you guys have been able to spin off and continue to grow when other people struggle?
I've always said that I think like curiosity is my best trait.
Cool.
Yeah. Like always just wanting to like learn something new. Like even when we're like working with Bob or whatever, even just like outside of the realm of like business or whatever.
True. Yeah.
Just like how the world works, you know?
Sure.
Just gotta be a student of life.
That's actually an interesting point. I do think that's like the best skill in business. Just always be learning.
Yeah.
Because I went through a period where I thought I had figured life out. I was like 19. I was making 6 figures. I had a Corvette and I just got a house. And I was like, I don't have to worry about anything. I figured life out. And like right after that, my business just tanked. Like just clearly I didn't know, right?
Yeah.
And so since then, I've just dedicated my life to learning, like, you know, reading books, taking courses,
Sure.
you know, consultants, stuff like that. Like I honestly think that's the best thing for business.
100%. I've invested money spent on coaching and programs and anything. Even if you just take one thing away from it, so many times it's still.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's sweet. And so what would you say have been some of the biggest lessons you learned scaling that, like you would want to maybe even tell to your younger self when you're just starting out?
Honestly, well, first of all, that like actually learn and like apply the things that you learn. Sure. You know, young me thought he'd figured it out. I had the wrong idea about it too. Like I thought that customers wouldn't care about customer service and they wouldn't care about quality. They would only care about, you know, price and turnaround, I guess. And that was a huge mistake. Like if I would have figured that out earlier, would have been super beneficial. What would you tell young Jarrett starting at Quiksell?
Yeah, you know what's funny was the original idea was like, we're going to be the McDonald's of real estate photography. We're just going to be super fast and super cheap.
Yeah.
But that's literally like what nobody wanted. Nobody wanted like, yeah, nobody wanted something that was cheap. Nobody wanted something that was like subpar quality. So after like a few months of that, we sort of like flipped it on its head and started doing like higher quality, probably just as good turnaround. And obviously like better customer service, better systems in place. So what I would say to, you know, 3 years ago, Jarrett, maybe build something more along the lines of like what the customer actually wants.
Yeah, that's smart. And that's a process though. You have to like launch and then get feedback from clients and like
Totally
iterate, you know, in business.
What would you tell yourself? Young Chitty, just starting out, fresh world.
That's a good question, man. Damn,
in Alaska.
Yeah, in Anchorage, Alaska.
In Anchorage.
I would say stay focused, dude. I think we grew really fast. And since I had some experience in business, I was able to hire and train and like remove myself quicker than I ever had felt before, like in 12 months. And still do like 30K a month without myself being there. And then I was like, oh, cool, I made it. Like, I can start other things now.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest mistake. If I just had stayed focused, I probably could have doubled my business in the following 12 months, you know? So
Shiny object syndrome.
no doubt, dude. 100%. That's the biggest thing. Yeah. That's kicked me in the ass. Still does. I have to like fight it. And it's not something I've ever like done with, but it's like you just have to remind yourself to be disciplined and just to keep going deeper in your niche versus like switching.
100%. I think about that a lot. Yeah. I always get like some random idea like, oh, if we just started this new business, like we already have this platform, we can make so much money. And it's a trap that you fall into. It's the woman in the red dress.
Dude, no,
The Matrix.
Exactly. 100%. Cool. In terms of client getting and growth, you know, what has been like the best thing that's gotten you guys actual new clients, like strategy?
Yeah, we've tried like a lot of different things. Instagram method, like I don't know if you want to like dive deep into that, but like I guess Eli Jones teaches that. So
Shout out Eli Jones.
That's
what we're all here for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we're in Vegas, literally. That works pretty decent. But literally when we started, I just cold called a bunch of people. That seemed to work.
Yeah.
It seemed to work in one location, but not another.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Which is weird.
cold calling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And we cold called what? 5,000 people, 2,000 people, something like
Oh,
that.
that's crazy.
Yeah, we cold called everybody. Like when we went to Calgary for the month, like we were literally just dialing. Like we were basically like we would call 40 people a day for the whole month, both of us.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we come home and then we had like targets every day. Like we were literally just ringing phones.
Savages.
Maybe we just had like more credibility in one area versus another.
Sure.
Well, that was just it. So in Saskatoon, where we grew up, we had street cred. So we'd call them and say, hey, it's Drew from Quiksell. Have you heard of us before? And everybody says yes. Or if not, like, whatever.
Realtors all know each other, especially in like those smaller places.
Probably not too different from Anchorage, I'd imagine. It's a smaller, it's 350,000.
Yeah, right. Well,
Yeah.
270 something. In Anchorage
Okay.
alone, yeah.
So Saskatoon's 250.
Okay, nice,
So
yeah.
it's the exact same thing. Like realtors talk to each other. It's no problem.
Yeah.
Calgary's 1.5 million people metro.
Got you.
Way bigger, 5 times bigger, right?
For sure.
So,
What have you guys learned? Because, yeah, we've experienced a similar thing in moving from Anchorage, Alaska to Denver, Colorado.
Oh,
like
yeah.
a different market. Like, what have you guys learned jumping into a different market compared to like a smaller hometown market?
we've got an interesting acquisition process now if you want to get into it.
We built our own CRM.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Airtable. It's
Okay.
it's called
Well, yeah, you like develop it on Airtable.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
But like, there wasn't really a CRM out there that was like niche enough for real estate photography,
Yep.
or at least at the time. Because like, I know when I did car sales, we had a CRM called Vin Solutions.
Sure.
And it was literally like for car sales. It was so niche that you could scan a barcode of like a customer's trade-in and it would just pop up all the information. Like it just did a lot of the work for you.
Sure.
So that's sort of like what we wanted to do with like our CRM. And it's kind of like a work in progress, honestly.
Sweet.
Just trying to like mark customers that are, because you can't manage what you don't measure, right? So like if we kind of had like customers that would like fall off,
Sure.
and you just like, you wouldn't really know. Airview doesn't track that. Like none of the popular real estate photography booking platforms
Sure.
like do any of that kind of stuff. They don't do like email campaigns for your database and stuff like that. So
Sweet.
And so with the custom Airtable program, you can have it set so like it'll say this person hasn't booked with you
Oh,
in
no
this
way.
many days. Usually they book with you in this. So you should follow up with them today. Send an email. Like you press one button and it just shoots them an email like from Chitty.
Oh.
It doesn't even say like, via MailChimp or like, via Monday.com or any of that. Like
Yeah.
just an email.
Yeah.
We hooked it up so it does the same thing with a phone.
Yeah.
So when we're getting a first customer, one of the strategies that we use is we send them a cold email, really short and simple, and we can do 100 people at a time, and it just looks like it's just like an email, like it shows up in their inbox. If they don't reply, a good amount do. Then next week we shoot like a similar kind of thing as a text
Got you.
from our open phone number.
Okay.
So it looks like we're local, it looks like we're like in the area, like same area code and all that.
Nice.
Yeah, that seems to be the best way. Like that on top of Instagram method,
Sure.
all three kind of work really well for us.
Nice. Laid it in. Plus tracking. You
Yeah.
guys seem to be really solid tracking. Like that's one thing I was impressed when you showed me your numbers and like you're like, I sent this amount of messages last month. We got this many responses, this many bookings. It's like, oh shit, these guys got their numbers dialed in.
It's gotten better since then. We got to jump on a call again and see.
I gotta check that out. That's awesome.
Yeah, I read this
Why do you
thing.
think that's important?
Well, yeah. So I read this thing somewhere that when big REITs like real estate investment trusts, when they acquire a business and they're going to start like managing it, they'll pretty much cut costs everywhere that it's not totally necessary to run the business. The one place where they'll never cut costs is data, like research.
Gotcha.
Like the data is just like so important, like knowing your numbers and like where they all come from, customer profiles, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Cost to acquire, average order value. So we've tried to make that like almost like a core competency, I guess, like just like tracking everything. Like
Nice.
yeah,
Sweet. No, I like that.
it's been helpful.
For sure. Yeah, it's impressive because then the more data you have, the better you can make better decisions.
What do you guys track at Just Bended? No, come on.
I track my strike revenue.
No, you do like shoots. How many shoots you do? Average order value, I'm sure.
No.
What? Chitty.
Dude, I track my strike number.
We need to have a long chat.
Try to make that shit goes up and not every single one.
If it's more, good. If it's less, not so great.
No, dude, yeah, that's why it's inspiring. Like when you show me your numbers and stuff, and I'm like, all right, that's definitely an area we need to step up our game for sure.
Yeah,
No doubt.
Yeah, 100%.
And probably just find systems to automate it so that it's not on me.
Airtable's not bad, man. Like, so right now for a CRM, you're using
High level.
high level. How are you liking it?
Good. Yeah.
Does it send emails and texts and all that?
Can. We don't have it set up to do that, but it can for sure.
You were telling me something really interesting for your acquisition strategy. So you run an ad and it's a follow ad, something like that, right?
Oh, yeah. So that's a new thing, but yeah, it's working really well. We need a test. Actually, no, I'm testing it right now with one of our coaching clients. But yeah, we're running an ad basically says, It's like an educational based ad, so it calls out your target audience. Hey, if you're a realtor in Calgary, looking to get more listings, here's 3 ways you can use video to help you land more listings, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, cool.
At the end, it's like, follow us for more content on how to grow your real estate business, right? Then they follow you because it's such a low call to action. And then you just reach out to them because now they followed you. You can slide directly into their DMs. And they already followed you, already watched the content, already, familiar with your stuff.
Yeah.
And so
it's like warm.
It's a very natural, organic, warm process to take someone from stranger to like book.
Yeah.
So we're really excited to get that dialed in.
And you could wrap it up. You think like get a lot of customers like that?
No doubt. Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I've
You gotta start doing that.
That's the funnel we're using for like coaching, my coaching business right now. And it's crushing. Like I probably gained like 1,600 followers.
Damn.
They're all like real estate, photo, and video companies. And so there's no reason it wouldn't work for like a local basis.
Yeah.
Business to target agents. You do use the same strategy.
100%.
We should test it for you.
We should do it.
Or what else do you do to get customers though?
Instagram, but we also
Instagram method, like the Eli Jones method?
for sure. But I was doing it before. I don't want to say.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, dude. I'm not saying. I didn't go through his course and start doing it. We were doing it, and then I was like, oh, he's doing it now too.
Oh, you're smart. That like blew my mind when I found out the Instagram method.
No, we been doing that since like day one.
Nice.
But I should have launched a course on that shit way back in the day. But with Facebook too, personal Facebook. Probably 75% of all our new clients come from personal Facebook page. The same shit as the Instagram outreach, but we just do it on Facebook.
That's enlightening that we really got to start doing.
Yeah.
Literally just works way better.
So then you just like friend realtors on Facebook and you just reach out to them?
Exactly. 100%.
Because I was thinking of doing something
good.
kind of like that. I friended a lot of our customers so that when I do friend them, I have mutual friends.
I promise you, if you do that, you will land as many clients or if not more that you've gotten from Instagram. No doubt. I would bet you $100 and shake on it right now.
That's funny he says that because the biggest thing that we're noticing with the business right now is how important relationships are. So we just last week, we went through 200 clients that had stopped using us. And we consider them stopped using us and they feel like 6 months without a listing.
Okay.
Probably tighten that up too. But
Yeah. Emailed all of them. People who didn't reply followed up with a text. And we just said like, I'm just looking for honest feedback, basically. Like, a nice message kind of thing. Just looking for the reason why
Sure.
you decided to like move on like to a different real estate media company.
Sure.
The number one answer was relationship.
Really?
How interesting is that? And this is like 200 people. Like that's probably, what is that? $500,000 in revenue.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Number one thing of everybody was relationship. So just goes to show how important the relationship is in the business or the perceived relationship.
Sure. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. So it's really easy if you're a one-man show. If you're a one-man show, that's totally your advantage. Just every single realtor, you make a fantastic relationship with them.
Sure.
Scaling a team doing that is more difficult. We're still learning.
No doubt. That's a great point.
yeah, even when I was going through some of those customers, they'd be people that haven't used this in a year.
Sure.
And I'd be looking at the name like, John Smith. And I'd be like, who is John Smith?
No,
you know what I
exactly.
mean?
Yeah,
and like,
100%.
if I'm reaching out to him, asking him
Yeah.
for feedback, he's going to be like, well, who the hell's Jarrett?
Yeah.
No doubt.
There was like one guy that said like, honestly, the reason why I stopped using you is because if I saw you at a grocery store, I wouldn't even recognize you or something like that. Like I wouldn't know to say hi to you or your photographers.
Interesting.
Kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And like a lot of times the best clients are the people who just, they just book online. They don't even go to the property. It's like Lockbox or whatever. And they just pay their bill and they don't like have any relationship with us apart from just like, like high level stuff.
Sure.
But that's not the average realtor. That's not what keeps the lights on generally.
Yeah. That's a good point. So many people, myself included, just focus on like new clients and acquisition, but not really anything on retention.
Yeah.
As you scale, like it's almost equally as important.
Have you ever looked into that? Like what you got like going out the door?
Spinning the hamster wheel of death.
Do you think you're okay in that department? Because
Definitely not.
that was like the hardest thing ever for us. It's like,
Yeah.
we'll acquire a client. People will try us out. And in our business, we don't consider them an acquired client until they book 2 shoots with us.
Oh, gotcha.
Because we hit them with an offer. I know you do the same thing where you say, first shoot with us, you get this. You get 50% off. You get free social media, whatever.
Yeah.
If they just use you for that, that doesn't necessarily mean
That's
they're
a
going to
good
use
point.
you.
That's a
Even
good
if they say they are, they don't always tell the truth.
That's a good point.
If they book with you a second time, then I think it's pretty likely.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, yeah, that's been the biggest thing for us in the last year. It's just like dialing in like who's using us once, who's using us twice, who falls off the wagon a few months later kind of thing, and why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Respect. Dude, you guys are doing the deep work, man. Honestly, that's something I've neglected. Like that type of granular, like going that deep into tracking and like understanding your business. So we respect you guys a lot for that.
I'll bring my laptop sometime, and me and you we'll plug in and we'll figure it all out for Just Tended.
Let's do it, man. Or where are you guys going from here? Or like, what's the vision for Quiksell?
We're going to the Eli Jones Rep Conference. I think we just talked about this the other day. Like, I don't know, have you read Traction by Jim Wickman?
Yeah.
So they talk about setting your 10-year goal,
Yeah.
3-year goal, and getting everybody on the same page about it.
Sure.
So I think our 10-year goal is 10 million revenue. Hopefully we can do more, but I'm, an optimist.
Sure.
And our 3-year goal is, 3 million revenue? And so I think it's doable. It's not a super aggressive growth trajectory.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where we're planning to go. Ideally, like in the future, we are not lifestyle entrepreneurs and we don't care about work-life balance. We want to grow the biggest real estate media company in Canada, maybe in the States, build it to $1 billion company or get acquired in the process.
Sweet, man. Same?
That's pretty much where my head's at. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Amazing, man.
Mic drop.
I love it, dude. Anything else that we didn't touch on that you want to cover?
What do you say is the level where you should hire? We made that mistake, actually. We hired way too fast.
Yeah, let's talk about that. 'Cause I have to.
Yeah. So we were doing 40K a month probably.
Yeah.
And we were like, I don't know, like 5 staff, like way overstaffed. Like we had like a
that's a
front
lot.
desk. We had like a physical office, 3 office admins, including me and Jarrett, because we didn't shoot. Like as soon as I could, I got rid of shooting.
Yeah.
Biggest mistake ever for profitability.
Yes.
I still don't know to this day when the best time to actually delegate the shooting is.
Sure.
It's definitely not when I did it, because I was thinking long term, I'm not going to be shooting. So I need to stop like now before clients get used to me.
Sure.
That was a mistake, profitability wise.
Yeah.
Well, it might be good to offload it as soon as possible. I guess there's like a pro and con to it. Realtors aren't building a relationship with you.
Sure.
So when you leave, they will be used to you showing up every time.
Yeah.
Sure.
But also at the same time, if you're the one doing the shoots and you're the one building the relationships, then you'll probably grow a little bit faster in the beginning.
Yeah,
100%.
for sure.
I think the sweet spot is like scaling to like 10 to 15K a month solo. And then hire your first photographer.
15.
You want to hire first shooter like in a strong cash flow position. And so you should scale up, have money in the bank. You feel comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've done that, like, especially before like slow season the first time. Like we hired the shit, and I delegated everything. Had my first ad person, sent to you.
Yeah.
And winter rolls around, you start to see the
The monthly
stripe go like this, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like freaking out. I'm like, oh shit, do I need to like fire the team I just hired?
What's your strategy for the slow season this year?
So let's see brand content.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
We're actually planning on doing that. It was
Glad you came around, dude.
me and you had that conversation and you really opened up my eyes to it, like saying that you could systemize it in a certain way, like certain camera, certain lens, 2 lights. Like we can do some of the prep work just over email and stuff.
Exactly.
Also Chris Powell, another person we're going to see this week.
Nice.
He's got a really good system built out for the realtor reels or whatever you'd call it.
Sure.
And he built it all off the $100 million offers playbook by Alex Hormozy.
Nice.
It'll be good to talk to him. We'll have a chat with him.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sweet, dude. Just in the past week, I've probably closed 20K in business. Like,
NRR?
Not
Total.
but like total. But
nice, bro. Damn.
like 5-6K a month in like recurring. But like
And that's-
part time. That was like me with doing all the other shit I'm doing. Like
yeah. Is that a short-term is that like a winter contract or how does
like
that work?
3 to 6 months each commitment.
That's how we're going to do. We're going to do like a 3-month thing so that by the time spring comes around, we'll be done and then we can get back into the real estate.
Smart. That's the biggest thing. Like you just have to set the expectation to do. I think we made a mistake in the past just doing just one-off packages with it. Where the key is really to do retainers because the client's not going to get results from posting 5 reels. But if you do it for 3 months, like the chances they'll get some traction, some leads that justifies their investment is way higher.
Keeps them accountable too, right? Also cements you as the person because if it's a 3-month basis, then when it's time to shoot their listings in the spring,
Sure.
it's a done deal. Chitty, chitty, chitty. Who should I use?
You really get to know them well too because you're spending like an hour or two like directly one-on-one with them.
So do you go on the reel shoots?
For now,
We're not going to do that.
Yeah.
That's going to be tough because then you have to, there's a whole other thing about like the mindset for your shooters, like how they're going to come across to the client. Like,
For sure.
yeah, be friendly, position of authority, like accommodating, stuff that you as the owner just naturally do.
Yeah.
That your employees would just potentially never think to even do, right?
For sure. And that's like the next step is delegating that piece. But I know it's possible, but you got to figure out the process yourself first. So I get something newer so we don't have every step the way we shoot a listing dialed in.
Yeah.
So just handing that off to a photographer doesn't make sense without the process.
So the person in the audience who's watching this, that's doing like, I don't know, 5,000-6,000 a month in real estate media and they're heading into their slow season,
Yeah.
would you suggest someone like them, like they start offering the real service, or should they just dial in on the real estate media? Oh yeah.
No doubt, yeah. Because I mean, the outreach method can be diverted either way, right? You can reach out the same method, and then you can take the conversation into a listing, or offer, or brand content. Offer pretty easily, but like you can still be generating leads and getting inbound.
Same clientele too. Like, have you read Ready Fire Aim? They talk about like
No, I've heard about that.
they talk about front end products and back end products. And so depending on how your business is set up, like a front end product for us is our real estate media. So like photos is something that people will find us and they'll come in, like that'll be how they get in the door is real estate media. And then, so ideally like you make like a bit of money on that. You know, it's kind of just like like the thing that it's like a core offering, like everybody comes to you for it.
Yeah.
Then you have back end offers that you only hit existing clients with. And those are extremely profitable.
Got you. Yeah. Cause you already have the client.
So that's what we're planning to do with Realtor Reels, so that we can keep offering our real estate media at the lowest price. And people who want to invest in their own personal brand, who are already using us, we can use that as kind of like a back end offer.
Yeah.
That's our plan anyway.
You guys should start with, if you guys haven't launched it yet, just do your own stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
Like show off the reels, you mean? Or what?
No,
Oh, yeah.
create your
Yeah.
own,
We
like,
started doing it actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going really good actually. Yeah.
Nice.
But what do you do for an editor? We just did switch to an in-house editor as well.
We have an editing team now.
Oh, really? In-house? Oh, man. That's
For photos and video?
Just video.
Okay.
photos is tough.
But for reels and like listing videos.
Yeah. Yeah. We're doing the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
I found it's the best to like.
But we offer to other people too. Like we'll open it up.
Oh, yeah.
Coaching clients all get access to our editing team too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's smart. Makes sense. Yeah, we started doing the reels ourselves.
Nice.
We sent out, so we have clients called super sellers, which are like our most like VIP clients.
I like that name.
Yeah, it's cool. It's for $100 million offers using like the alliteration.
Yeah.
So we reached out to all of them, and Jarrett reached out to all of them and just said like, "Hey, we're coming out with the service. It's not quite ready yet. What do you think?" And I think the reaction was like overwhelmingly positive, right?
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple people that didn't really care for it, but yeah, there was like a couple people who were like enthusiastically like, oh my god,
Yeah.
nobody offers that.
Yeah. So now it's just a matter, and that's only like our top 10% of clients.
Nice.
So we're gonna do a blast out to all of our clients when we get back here.
Nice.
And yeah, should be good. I'm excited either way.
Sweet, dude. When did you guys outsource editing?
I never actually, you know what? I edited maybe the first 5 photo shoots. This is when I was doing social media marketing, just because I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
And I found outsourced editing, and I thought I invented it. Because keep in mind, like I've never, like I'm from like Saskatoon, Canada. Like I don't have anybody in the circle. There's no round tables or like.
He's like the caveman that invented fire.
Yeah, that thinks he invented fire. It turns out he's like living in like North Sentinel Island or something. Yeah. But I thought that like Upwork was like a Drew thing, because when I was in high school, I was snowboarding all the time. I didn't have time for school. And so I did all my classes online.
Yeah.
And I figured it out. I hired this lady in, I think she's in Russia, and she did all of my schoolwork. Yeah. She read books for me. She did book reports. Yeah. And she got like 100% on everything. She had like an English degree. She was legit.
That's crazy.
100% on everything. And I would only get her to do the assignments that she had to do so that I would get a 51 because I was cheap.
Yeah.
And so I was just snowboarding all day. I had like a part-time job. And then, so yeah, I thought I invented Upwork. Yeah. And I got the photo editors. I was like, I'm a genius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are though.
Does anybody?
It'd be funny if the Saskatchewan government like retracted your high school diploma.
They probably should.
Just based on that.
For sure.
I hope they do. I was the worst student that that didn't get expelled. I actually saw my principal recently and bought her a shot of liquor.
Really nice.
She hated me.
Dude,
how'd you do in school? What kind of student were you?
I was pretty decent. I had a very strict African dad growing up, so like not getting good grades wasn't an option.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? So
fair enough.
I was pretty on it. Decent enough. Not just enough to pass well.
Yeah.
You know, B and C type of dude. Not.
Did you have your mind on it? Like, did you know you wanted to do business or?
It was like college. Once I got into college, I knew for sure. Like I was just like hustling to like resell stuff on Amazon and eBay, like flipping stuff like Gary Vee style.
Nice.
The garage sales.
And this is what, year 2015, 2016?
Yeah, man. Yeah, 2016 probably. And I was just hustling. So
yeah.
I had a part-time job, I had college, and then just researching business. I know what the Google was like. Businesses to start in 2015.
Yeah, I used to do that, man.
And literally just pick something on the list and just did it. Like Amazon.
Yeah.
Fulfilled by Amazon.
I did that. I did FBA. I sold an FBA business.
No shit.
When I was like 17, I sold an FBA business. Yeah, it was legit.
Crazy.
It was my first real entrepreneurship like experience.
Dude, that's sick. Well, Yeah, I remember the day I wired like 8K to China, and it was like my life saving, like a wire transfer. You can't get that shit back.
Yeah,
and I was like,
see your products in 6 months or
yes, dude, exactly. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, you know what's up.
That's cool. We both did it. Did you ever get into like the social media marketing stuff or?
I did video production. That was my route. So I didn't get into the market, social media management. I probably should have, but I just sticked into like video. So I just started selling like higher ticket videos and stuff.
Well, that was the next like trendy business. Like all of like the tech bros, like you did FBA. And then when you like got tired of that, you did social media marketing.
Sure.
And that was exactly what I did. I was successful enough with it, but
You bought Ty Lopez's course or what?
I stole Ty Lopez's course.
No.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
It's probably statute of
watching
limitations at this point. Yeah. Shout out Ty Lopez. I did buy 67 steps and it was awesome. His course got me a loan from 0 to 100 grand a year.
Yeah.
I was just like one guy, like, you know, personally making 100 grand a year, all of him.
Yeah.
So people say what they want about Ty Lopez, but if you apply what you learn, it's legit.
100%. Yeah, I got a homie that bought his course and was on track to freaking be a doctor and anesthesiologist, all this crazy stuff, got straight A's and top student and stuff. Got his course and turned out a scholarship.
SMA course?
Yeah.
Nice.
Turned out a scholarship, said fuck college, started a marketing agency business, like calling his stuff. And now he does very well. So
You got into Ty Lopez too in like a totally different way.
Yeah, I
Well, we
did.
met.
Yeah. When I was like 19, I was just like working like a shitty oil field job
yeah.
in the oil rigs in Saskatchewan and Alberta. And I just like hated it. So I remember his ad, like the Lamborghini in the garage ad.
Bro, yeah.
It popped up on my YouTube or my Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
And I clicked it. Took me to like the 67 steps course landing page. I bought it, $67 USD. So like $1,000 Canadian. I listened to the tapes like every day, 67 days. And that was kind of what set me on like this path. And actually,
And read like all the books too. Like, have you seen like Ty Lopez's like recommended reading?
No, I haven't.
Jarrett's got like a bookshelf at his house with like 1,000 books. He just like Ty recommends all these books. He's like the book a day kind of guy.
Yeah.
Jarrett read like all of them.
Yeah.
They're really good. I just started reading some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it's crazy how something like that can just set your whole life on another trajectory.
Man.
Like, it's like the pivotal point for a lot of people is going through some kind of stuff like that. For me, it was 100% Dad Poor Dad, the book.
Same with me. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad and it changed my life. I was like, this is like, I can't believe everyone doesn't like think this way.
or what about like there was a Grant Cardone book. I don't remember which one it was, but he said like maybe it was
I
one of
just
those.
read 10X for the first time like this year.
But he said most millionaires start out in sales. And I read that while I was in college. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go sell cars.
Nice.
Yeah. Just made it happen.
Yeah, one piece of...
That's Jarrett. Just like find out what you want and just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
Actually, one thing I was going to ask you, you were talking about, you kind of came across like all the Gary Vee and like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Coming out of college and you realize this is like kind of what you want to do. Did you ever have like imposter syndrome? Like thinking like people are about business. I'm not really about it. I'm just like,
Bro, probably
me.
Probably one of the biggest cases of that when I walked in like my first networking event. Like it was like walk in,
Like, I don't belong.
and I like literally didn't know shit about anything. Just started my video production company. You know, it's like just me, and I still don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
In like a room full of like veteran business people that are all like 40 to 50 years old. You know, and like you could tell they had branded polos.
Yeah,
the whole thing. And I'm
legit.
just like, bro, you just have to like. Anyways, but I think that day or after that networking event, I went and like literally like YouTube like how to be a good networker or like how to get a networking.
That's all you have to do.
And it's just like about building relationship rapport. And at that point, I was like, it's more of just being like a people's person than like really knowing your shit. Like if you just make a solid connection and you tie it to something that you do and hopefully you're good at it, like people will eventually give you a shot. And like that's exactly what happened. Like a few months later, just showing up to all these networking events, shaking hands, just being like that young, hungry kid that doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
People love that.
And some guy had a project that my first video project, legit video project, was like a $1,600 project. It was a lot of work, but like just boom, like that. And I was like, holy shit, this is like way more money than I ever made before.
It's doable.
Yeah.
I know like when I started, I was doing a similar kind of thing. I was just working some like truck driving job. And I was listening to Gary Vee every day. And like I was listening to Self-Made Man, like all the podcasts, all the audiobooks.
Yeah.
And the whole time for like a 6-month period, I was thinking like these people that I'm listening to are like about business, but like I'm not. I'm just like the outside looking in kind of thing. It's like it was like my version of imposter syndrome.
Sure, yeah.
And the mindset shift for me was I'd been listening to it every day for like 6 months. And I was like, I'm as into it as these people are. Like, we're the same. They're just further along than me.
Yeah.
So if anybody like is getting started in their real estate media business and they have that imposter syndrome, that's the way that I always thought about it, is that I'm as interested in it as all these other people. And so I belong.
That's good, especially for early on. Because early on, you don't have the experience. But if you like it, you're into it as much, you can do that anytime. You know.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing for me.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
I like that. What drives you guys to be entrepreneurs? Why not just get a job?
Damn, it's a deep question.
Well, first of all, I hate authority. Maybe you're the same. I think lots of entrepreneurs don't like authority.
For sure.
In school, I didn't get along with any teacher. So I knew that, working for a boss, I'm just going to end up getting fired or something. Second of all, I think I was born with drive and I want to do as much as I can with my life. And I think I do owe it to my family in a sense that I can kind of build a life for myself and get ahead a little bit and help everyone out. So that's kind of what drives me.
I think when you look at the array of options that you're confronted with, like it's pretty much just like the best path to take.
Sure.
Versus like
work at PetSmart, work at, the oil field, go to school, or, do something with like unlimited potential, like uncapped potential.
if you have the work ethic.
Yeah, I think that's a prerequisite. For a certain type of
Yeah.
person, it makes sense.
I do meet people that
doesn't make sense.
they just want to clock in and clock out and
doubt.
go home to their dog or something.
That reminds me, like, are there any cases of...
Which is fine.
For sure.
We all agree. Like, it's not us three.
Yeah.
That's totally fine.
As you've gone deeper into business, like you were just saying, like, like throwing work-life balance at the window, chasing goal, being the best company ever. Like, as you grow and get deep into the entrepreneur game, you start treating your time, priorities, different things in maybe your old homies back in the day, or even friends and family. Like, has there ever been any friction in your life between like you go on this path and you feel everyone else in your life like not? You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, I was just telling you before the pod, I just came out of a 30-day monk mode where I didn't drink, no coffee, no nicotine, no going out, no instant gratification, no social media, nothing.
Yeah.
And it's not easy on my social life. Obviously, I miss out on everything.
Sure.
But I think for me right now, like where I'm at in life, I think I can manage those relationships well enough that I can build a life for myself and come back to it at a later point in my 40s or something.
Sure.
Just right now, I want to focus on personal achievement.
Nice.
Yeah, I think for me, I don't think there's a lot of friction between like family or friends or anything, but I do find it hard to like relate to most people.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like build like an actual like deep friendship with some people, or even just like my older friends. I feel like sometimes they just want to, drink some beers and watch sports, and I'm like, let's go to the gym. Let's do this. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like I think everyone's like pretty supportive in my life.
Nice.
What about you? How do you manage work-life balance?
I think I tend to like just heavily prioritize whatever I'm focusing on at the time. So like I'm very notorious for just like not texting people back or calling people back. Like even if like honestly in a bad way, like even if it's like my mom, like I won't text her back for whatever reason. It's just like because I'm focused, like whatever I'm working on at the time. I need to work on that in some cases, but
And I'm sure she gets it.
yeah, in general, like just heavily prioritizing whatever I'm working on and kind of saying fuck everything else. And like I think Alex Ramosi talks about so much of just like it's okay, like you can choose.
Yeah.
You don't have to put any societal norms on how you want to live your life. Like just decide and do it, and like don't care what other people say.
It's like almost like this weird like consensus that like work-life balance is so important. Like I talk to people that like I barely know, and they'll be like, "Oh, just remember, Mr. Entrepreneur, like remember work-life balance."
For sure.
And it's like, I don't know why everybody's got like this kind of like idea in their head that it's so important. Every single great person ever who's done anything that you admire did not have work-life balance.
Yeah.
They just achieved something that they really wanted, and they basically sacrificed everything else.
100%.
So this idea of work-life balance, if you are really motivated to achieve something,
Yeah.
you got to just forget about it.
No doubt. I think for me, it's been very cyclical. So I'll like work very hard for like a sprint of time, whether it's a few months or like in the first year of business, it was like 6 months to a full year where I was just head down to fuck everything else, just going hard with business, like every waking hour. And then I'll like take my head up and be like, all right, shit, like I'm kind of tired right now. Like I'm gonna go do some fun, take a vacation. Like even for this week, so like last 30 to 45 days been going hard with coaching program, just pendant stuff, everything we're doing. And now coming out to this conference, it's gonna be some work, but like it'll be fun.
Yeah.
But then also next week we have some friends flying in from Alaska.
Nice.
Really like let loose like the following week. So it's like that's my balance.
That'll be nice, man.
You know what I mean? So that's like but like the prior 30, 45 days, like I wasn't doing much fun, like stuff. Like I was working weekends. I was working from when I woke up to when I went to sleep.
Yeah.
But now I can have my fun, you know?
Yeah.
Now the big account's comfy too.
Yeah, 100%. I'm sure I'll get to that point. Right now, the bank account's not comfy. So
Sure.
when I get to that point, maybe I'll ease off the gas a little bit. But
For sure.
right now, I just work.
Like I've never heard an entrepreneur say like, hey, you need more work-life balance.
Yeah, if you do, it's not the people who are really building something.
Yeah.
That's like, you know, they're really building something.
Yeah.
Which is, once again, is fine too. I know lots of people that are entrepreneurs. They make like, you know, 50 to 100 grand a year, but they work for themselves. Don't have a boss. They have a pretty chill lifestyle, and that's sick. I think probably the three of us are cursed with ambition. That's gonna just, you know, we're not gonna settle for that.
Dude, that's the funniest thing. I'm sure that's a good point. The more you grow as an entrepreneur, the more you realize what's possible, and how you feel at every level.
Man, that's so
You
true.
hit 10K.
Yeah.
At first, you just went to 10K. You hit 10K, and you're like, it's kind of not shit.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, 20, 30K, then I'm gonna be set. You hit that, and you're like, really, I should hit 100K. Like, there's
Levels, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
That happens even outside of money too. Like,
Yeah.
just like walking around in the lobby down there, I was just like, whoa, there's a lot of people that spend a lot of money on dumb shit.
Yeah, there's levels.
You know?
No doubt.
Yeah. No kidding. Well, I mean, yeah. In anything, like a sport, you started boxing recently or a year ago, you box a lot. Anyway,
I used to box.
You box.
Play soccer now.
You start boxing and you go like a couple times, you realize how bad you suck. After a few months, you're like, damn, I'm getting really good at this. And then you spar with somebody who's been doing it like for, you know, a few years.
Exactly.
And like they could just hit you whenever they want. You can't hit them if you don't want to.
Yeah.
And then you see someone like the best person in the gym, nobody can hold a flame to them. And then there's like pros, like there's just levels to it, you know?
No doubt.
And the better you get at boxing, the smaller you feel. You ask a pro, they're like, oh, I'm okay. Like there's these other guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a funny concept.
So advice that we would give to people starting out, advice that we would give to people.
Not necessarily
3 to 10K.
starting out. Yeah. In the solo photographer wanting to get to kind of where we're at now.
Yeah. So you said their biggest problem is like getting customers, right?
Yeah, most people. Yeah, by far, number one.
It could be like kind of an unconventional way to do it, but you can just like take a break and get like a sales job.
That's not a bad idea.
Like,
Yeah.
Because that probably is what's holding people back. It's like the soft skill.
They're afraid of it. Yeah,
They're afraid of it.
Yeah.
I know I was.
Yeah.
And that's like your superpower is you can just call people because Jarrett has this background in sales.
Yeah.
Like cold approaches and everything.
yeah.
So
What are some fundamental tips for your sales, like that you've learned, like if someone is starting out in sales?
if you're doing more than like 30% of the talking, you need to talk less.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Because like I was never really like a talker in the first place. And when I started, I thought I like literally had to be good at talking.
Sure.
And then when I started selling cars, I was just like, the guy beside me, he's just running his mouth and everyone's repulsed by it and doesn't buy anything from him. But like when people sit down with me, they talk all their problems away and they literally just like talk themselves into like buying stuff.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like a paradoxical thing where you just, the more you shut your mouth, the better you do.
100%.
when you think about like sets and reps, like just like getting experience doing sales in the first place.
Yeah, like the Arnold Schwarzenegger method. Like you can just get better at anything with sets and reps.
Sure.
Like you're going to suck at the beginning. You just have to suck. You just have to get it over with.
100%.
Yeah.
Like I don't do a lot of sales, but I have at points in my life. I've done cold calls. I've done it all. And the hardest thing is like the first one.
100%.
Every single one gets better.
100%. Someone a bit ago gave me a piece of advice. I think I was super stressed out about my business, just panicked, whatever was going on. And he was just like, yo, Chitty, at the end of the day, you're just selling pictures of houses. And I think you put it into perspective. It's like, what's the word? I mean, you know, yeah, like we can get so stressed out and be afraid and nervous of whatever. But at the end of the day, it's not like we're freaking brain surgeons. You know, no one's going to die. Like, it's just a photo. And like, it's just an agent.
That's funny you say that because that was one of the reasons why we wanted to pursue real estate media rather than the business. Because at one point we were running both. We were doing social media marketing for like small businesses, and then we were doing the real estate media.
Yeah.
And the social media marketing for like smaller medium businesses is way higher risk. It's way less forgiving. There's lots of like corporate politics at play. Like the marketing manager that's hiring you wants to like look good, but like also not like make it look like you like get all the credit for it.
Interesting.
Lots of weird stuff like that. And it's a huge deal if something gets messed up.
Sure. Yeah.
And also like another part of it too is the results aren't exactly super easy to measure. And it's like kind of hard to tell like what's like a good product versus what's a bad product.
Yeah.
You can fudge the numbers however you want. You could say that like your goal is, you know, reach that month or engagement, and you can just pump the numbers up. It's not hard.
Sure.
Whereas in real estate media, it's a really easy thing that you're selling. Like people
Very
know,
tangible.
it's very tangible. People know what they're getting into.
Sure.
They get the photos back. They decide if they like them or not on the spot, and they decide if they want to work with you again.
Sure.
And it's way lower stakes. Like,
100%.
like imagine like even doing photography for like a wedding.
Yeah.
Like, imagine that. Like you miss like the.
I've
the
done
kiss.
it.
Have you done that?
I've done wedding videos. I've done it.
I imagine that'd be stressful.
Yeah. I think I had a background of like a lot of video. I shot every type of video possible almost. And so I had the fundamental skills as a videographer and professional, like shooting under stress. So what is it freak me out? But it was just more like I didn't like the feeling of, when you're at a wedding as a videographer, even though you have all the footage you need, like you always feel like you always need to be like just ready to get it. Like you might miss a moment.
You might miss
always like for like 8 hours straight, you might miss a moment. So you're constantly just like glued. Even when you want to take a break because you've been sitting for like 6 hours and a half straight.
Yeah.
You go to the bathroom and something crazy happens.
Yeah, exactly. You go to the bathroom, you sit down for a second, and you look like a lazy piece of shit.
Where's the photographer?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's just whack, But real estate media, you get in, do your thing, and go.
It's chill. It's a good business for introverts. Like I used to just like put headphones in, listen to like an audiobook or like a podcast, just like go through the house with the Matterport. It's chill. Like if you mess something up, just delete it, redo it.
Yeah,
Whatever.
100%.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any plans for investing, or is the goal just pump money into the business and make it as big as possible?
I literally just throw all my money in index funds
Nice.
for now.
Yeah.
I've done lots of investments. Like, stock. I've lost so much money in stocks. I've lost money in crypto.
Really?
Just, being like a young, like kind of like getting into this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I bought a house and rented it out, which ended up being a good decision.
Sweet.
Other than that, I'm not planning on investing my money in anything except for more houses because I kind of get it. And the business. That's it.
Nice.
What about you?
Yeah, man, same thing. But yeah, I got my first fourplex a couple years ago now.
Nice.
Back in Alaska, and that thing's spin out decent cash flow. I just bought it at the right time, right deal, and like low interest rate, so it just worked.
Are you okay with like are you got a renewal coming soon? That's gonna hit me next hour.
Oh, I have a project manager.
Oh, nice.
Who I actually turned one of the units to Airbnb, and so she manages the Airbnb as well as like pretty much all the other units. She's dope.
That's the way to do it.
So it's clutch, just having her there because she can just handle anything that pops up. But yeah, seeing that is sweet. I think the way I did it because I bought the property, moved into it, spent a month off from work and renovated it myself for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I think I just did it the wrong way because I just stressed myself out because I was running my business plus like renovating the whole unit myself for some reason, So my next real estate investment, I see long term it makes sense, but you could argue like how much would that same money you would put into a piece of real estate pay off if you just threw it back into your business, whether it's marketing, ads, whatever, most times like reinvesting back in your business would give you a better ROI.
Well, if you pick something safe, the way that I thought about it was I'm going to buy this house.
Like that verse.
And if my business were to just completely die, I at least have this. So it's like, I'm young enough that I can restart my life. It's not going to be a problem. And I'll always have this. And it, the rent pays for it. So like nobody can like take it away from me. That's the way that I thought about it. It was almost like a diversification thing.
Honestly, that's exactly my same mentality. That's
But-
interesting you put it that way.
But you have to get to a certain level before you could do that.
No doubt.
Before you can buy a house, if you're starting a real estate media business.
Yeah.
And all the time in between, every other investment you would make, I don't know if you guys will agree with me on this. I think every other investment you would make would be like your mini version of shiny object syndrome.
Yeah.
Like if you make your first $1,000 on a full package shoot and it's your first time getting that kind of money, you're like, oh, what should I invest this in? I'm going to buy a stock of Tesla or something. That's a horrible idea.
Sure.
If it goes up, 20%, you get super lucky, which by the way, it could go down like 50% tomorrow. Like stocks are, essentially gambling.
Sure.
If you put that money, if you either save it for like a long-term play like real estate or you put it back into your business, you'll get a way higher return. 20% on $1,000 when you're a solo photographer, you can put $1,000 on ads and make 20%, no problem.
No doubt.
Equipment, like if you're not already offering video, spend $1,000 on video equipment, then you're in business. Then you can like triple your income in a month.
No doubt. Yeah. What's the ROI on a drone, dude? Like, how much money has a drone made you? Like,
Oh man. Well, what is a drone? So you can get a DJI Mini. Do you use minis?
Mavic Airs still.
Okay.
2 or 3.
Similar kind of thing. We have Mavic Airs too.
Nice.
But you get a Mini. It's good enough that like realtors probably won't care about the quality.
Yep.
It's like, what is it? $750.
Yep.
And that'll make you tens of thousands before you need to replace anything. Like the batteries, like, it's the editing is like nothing because you're only taking like 5-10 photos a piece.
Exactly.
Yeah. ROI on a drone is
ROI on a drone.
Remember what Robert Kiyosaki said, though. Pay yourself first.
true. I'm bad at that. That's a big weakness of mine.
I just have money that like automatically goes to my investments every month.
Oh, smart. Yeah.
Yeah. Like low risk stuff.
Yeah, just like index funds.
Yeah. Index funds. Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's what I mean. I mean, like invest.
At least it's just
individual stocks.
Sure.
yeah,
How do you guys think you do with like personal finances?
Jarrett's great.
Yeah.
yeah.
Super frugal.
Financially efficient.
I like that.
I'm terrible because here's the thing about me is I can make the money, but I spend it all.
Yeah, she does.
Yes, you know.
He spends it all on her.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
She's the saver, so she saves enough for both of us.
Okay, nice.
But honestly, like there's been points in my life where I kind of got myself into a bad situation because, like I said, when I had no employees, I was making 100 to 200 grand a year, and it was all in my jeans. Like there's almost no expenses.
Sure.
Doing everything myself.
Sure.
And at that point, like I was 19, 20 years old. That felt like unlimited money. Like I could just,
No doubt.
if I want something, I could just like buy it, whatever.
doubt.
Then I started hiring and delegating, all this stuff. Suddenly my personal income goes down, but I still have like this like lifestyle of like I can buy whatever I want.
Oh,
Man, that's tough.
yeah.
So yeah, personal finance probably not my my forte at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully in the future. How about you? You a saver?
Yeah, definitely. Dude, my dad drilled.
No, you're staying in the Bellagio. This place is sick.
Hey, we make these. We're doing all right these
Yeah,
days.
fair enough.
We're doing all right these days.
It's a business expense.
It's a business experience.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah.
No, my dad, dude, growing up a million times, told me save, like from an early ass age, just like save. Like he just drilled into my head.
Nice.
And so,
Is your dad first gen? Like immigrant?
yeah,
Yeah.
Nigeria,
Yeah.
for sure.
Saver mentality.
Yeah, no doubt. So that served me a lot because I think personally, I just never, even when I started making money in business, I never really started blowing it. One thing I think, and I think I did it the right way, but I would spend money on vacations though, like travel, vacations, stuff like that. I would spend money on, but it was always it was always proportionate to my income though too. So like, never was an idiot. The biggest thing was actually recently when I moved out to Denver. I moved into like a luxury apartment. So boom, like $3K a month.
Nice.
And then I bought a new car, and then I'm fucking eating out all the time. And now was my wake up moment where I was like, all right, I got out of because prior to that, I just fully smart financial decisions, lived at home for a long time, launched my business at home, moved out into my fourplex, still other 3 units paying the rent at my fourplex. But then I made a huge jump from my fourplex, living cheap as hell, car paid off, to like luxury downtown apartment, plus new car payment and all that stuff all at once was like such a huge jump.
Yeah.
And that kind of was a wake up call. It's like, okay, I need to reel it back. So I actually sold that new car and just got like a used car, reduced my payment, just reset it. Just like, I still am in a phase where I should just build, like take all the spare money. I'll still go on nice vacations, but anything excess, like back into the business or into saving for my next property. And so
Where do you see the old wise accomplished Chitty? Like, are you gonna be private jet flying, wearing the nicest clothes, driving a car?
Private jets just seems so, unless my time really truly gets to a point to where the opportunity cost like justifies it,
Yeah.
I think first class by default would be
Nice.
in I really want a lake house with a boat, jet skis,
Yeah.
and then live in a nice,
In Alaska or?
I could go for Alaska, but better somewhere else would be better. There's a lot of better places in Alaska, dude. And just be able to travel and have a bunch of rental properties and just have like a place still where I have enough wealth I couldn't mess it up really.
Yeah.
Like $20-30 million. That's kind of, I think, a place where as long as you're not an idiot, like you're going to be set for life.
Yeah. Nice, man.
It's kind of my end goal. What about you guys? I mean, what is it? What are you guys going to be doing when you guys freaking build Quiksell to $1 billion a year?
What would I do? Actually, going back, it's funny you say that about your parents telling you to like save and stuff.
Yeah.
My parents were kind of like that,
Yeah.
except they didn't really like say with their words. It was just more like with their actions. Like they never gave me money to do stuff. It was always like, figure out a way to pay for this on your own sort of thing.
Yeah.
I remember like kids in my class would buy, with like they turned 16 and their parents would buy them a car.
Yeah.
But my parents would be like, no.
Yeah.
I think they gave me like $1,000 to chip in towards the car, but I didn't.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was just like, you're on your own. I think I have like a similar vision to you. I think this guy's got a pretty different vision. We were just listening to that one Ty Lopez podcast where he was like, it's better to be the prince than the king.
Right.
Where you have like a lot of money set up where like you said, like you can't screw it up literally.
Yeah.
but like you're not so big that people are like literally coming at you. Ty Lopez did a podcast on the Iced Coffee Hour with Graham Stephan.
Yeah.
Where he was saying like the best time of his life, or like the best time to be Ty Lopez was like 2013 and 2014 before he was like Ty Lopez, because he had status, but it wasn't like international celebrity status.
Sure. Yeah.
He had like $10-20 million in the bank, or I don't know what exactly he said. But whereas now he has God knows how much money he has in the bank, and like everyone knows him.
Sure.
And because everyone knows him, people will just like sue him for stupid stuff, or like you can't really like trust him. Where he was like, but when he was like, 10-20 million, like he was pretty like low key.
Yeah.
Nobody really bugged him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He gives a really good example, which is Donald Trump. Is like so he would, if Donald Trump in like the 80s or 90s was like the prince, right? Like he had money. He was like locally known in New York kind of thing. Like people liked him and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
He becomes president and now he's the king and he's like divisive. People hate him.
Sure.
All this stuff. And some people like him and some people don't like him, whatnot.
Sure.
But that's like the difference, right? It's like the prince, he had life way better than probably how he has it now.
Yeah. What number net worth wise though? Like, what do you think you'll achieve in your life?
I want 100 mil at least. If I died with 100 million, I'd be disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Nice.
How about you?
Oh, 2030. I think that vision can grow, but like I think realistically to check the box and be like, all right, did you achieve like a pretty sweet level of wealth and like live the life like 90% of everything I'd want to achieve? That's that mark, I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
Yeah, 20-30 million. Like I was literally thinking the same thing.
Nice.
People say that's the sweet spot. You can do anything with 30.
Yeah.
They call 30 million ultra high net worth.
Gotcha.
That's the word. Is like I think 30 million is the threshold where you're like, is there an ultra high net worth?
Yeah.
After that, I don't think life gets too much different. After that's just like a Z-word word.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, they have that statistic. I think that statistic's kind of bullshit, but I forgot what number salary wise it is. Do you know what I'm talking about?
85,000.
Yeah.
You're talking about the hedonic treadmill.
Yeah, like there's a fall off of how much your life gets better incrementally the more money you make.
Yeah.
But I think that number, I mean, depending on what type of person you are, I guess. But I think that number's low.
Depends how they like how they score it too.
Yeah.
So like if you took away like money and you made it like something else, like sports, for example. So like the ideal, like the $85,000 a year of like, I don't know, like basketball, for example, is like someone who plays like D1 or something like that.
Sure.
They're saying like that's the, the ideal life because you still can go home and have a family and all that. I bet you LeBron James gets lots of satisfaction out of his life and being like the best ever. Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'm sure they're perfectly happy with where they're at.
Yeah, no doubt. Do you guys have any role models or anyone like that like really inspires you?
My grandma, personality wise, my grandma is the sweetest person you'd ever meet. Yeah. She's like a role model in terms of like how she like handles situations and deals with people.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's even coming to mind, honestly.
Really?
There's just like a few different things I admire about like a few different people, I guess.
You take the bits and pieces from everybody.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. If you just follow one person, like every single thing they embody, that's a call.
Yeah.
Like you need to like take the best from everyone.
For sure. I think it took me a while in business specifically because I was newer. I listened to a lot of advice from people that made more money than me, but I didn't realize that they might not still have been wiser than me, if that makes sense. Like you have to take people's advice. They need to know the context of where you're at instead of just telling you like everyone has their own like version of what life based on their experiences. And they'll give you a lot of people, if they're not wise, will just tell you advice based on their own experience, but they won't take into context like where you're at and that your path might be different than theirs. You know what I mean? And I think that's something that I struggled with early on with distraction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like someone who was really successful in this other business model saying, hey, do this.
Yeah.
Launch this type of business. Yeah. You're not making enough money in this. Oh, start this thing. And so I'm here caught between these two things. Should I keep going in my lane or switch focus? And I was in that lane for a while and I did it. And then it fucked my whole business up for like a few months and I was really stressed out.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Who comes to mind when you think of a role model for yourself?
My dad, hands down, number one for sure. One thing, just hardworking, no doubt. Like just never complained and was hardworking. Like just got shit done. And I never
Such a good quality.
Never heard him complain about anything. Like even if it was like my mom got puppies and they would shit on the floor and shit like that.
No complaints.
Yeah, he's just doing it. Like he's not sitting there bitching. Like I think like maybe American culture or whatever. Like maybe just society in general is kind of soft, but like he just never complained about really anything.
Yeah.
And then also his character was like never in question. Like you never do the wrong thing. Like
Stand-up guy.
whether anyone is, watching you or not. So
Yeah.
those two things. Then I got the personable side from my mom. My dad was super strict. But my mom was like super loving, like almost counteracting my dad's side of it.
Yeah, totally.
So I feel like I got the best of both influences, even though they're both pretty extreme.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So I came out somewhere in the middle. Like,
100%.
Pulled the good traits from here.
Yeah.
Other good traits from here.
Exactly.
Mash it up. Turned out
I had like a similar lesson from my dad too when I was younger.
dope.
Yeah, my dad, when I was, I don't know, like 10, 11, 12, he used to take me and my brother out to the forest like in the weekends, and we chopped down trees for firewood to burn
Dad did that too.
in the winter.
Wow, dude, that's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my dad was like the same way, like he never complained or anything. And I remember one time we were out like working or whatever,
Yeah.
and I was complaining, obviously, like a 11 or 12-year-old does when they do that kind of work. And he's like, if you can make it through the rest of the day without complaining, I'll give you $10. And so I made it through the rest of the day. Keep in mind, I was working for free. So like $10, that's a $10 pay raise. That's a lot. And then when we got to like the end of the workday, he sat down, he like taught me a lesson about how like when you grow up in the real world, nobody likes a complainer.
Yeah.
And then I like never complained again.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Never. Yeah. Ever.
Such a good way to build character, though. Like,
No doubt.
I gotta do that with my kids when I have kids. I gotta find like things to do, like get them doing some manual, go chop some wood and stuff. My dad did that too. Maybe go chop wood.
Is that a Canada thing or what?
I guess it must be. Yeah.
You chop wood in Alaska.
There's no way. I'm not. Maybe a lot of other people. There are people that live out in the village, like rural Alaska and stuff, for sure.
How did you learn the like work ethic that you have?
Just watching my dad, dude. Like you just are, you see someone.
What do you do?
Osmosis.
He did. Yeah, no doubt. He did contracting, so he built homes and did renovations, so like manual labor work, but like started his way from the bottom. Like he had an architecture degree that he got in Nigeria, like mastered in architecture.
Yeah, nice.
But when he, came here as an immigrant or whatever else, like it's not worth anything.
Yeah, you got to.
They don't value, and so like he had to start his way from like busting his ass as a laborer. He just told me a lot of stories, like one of like he used to work on this job site. He started out as like the base laborer or whatever. I don't know construction, but just base entry level help. But he would show up like before everyone in like the middle of Alaskan winters, when it's -4, when it's -10, like contractors would just not show up, like because they're people just wouldn't show up. It's always too fucking cold. But not my dad. Like every day they're early and then staying later than him. And then some other guy who was just like watching the project from afar, from like another construction site or some shit, saw my dad just showing up every day consistently, and reached out to him because he saw his work ethic, and then he got, promoted and like a bigger opportunity, and he kind of kept that. So like just seeing shit like that, it's like, that's the way, I want to be, you know what I mean?
So on that vein, you're now a married man. You've been with Quiksell.
Engaged.
Oh, you're engaged. Oh, sorry.
We're getting
Okay.
married next year.
Oh, nice. Okay, congrats.
Appreciate it.
9 years together.
Yep.
Late 20s. When are the little chitties and the little crystals coming in?
Buddy, you're gonna get me in trouble. Watch this, dude. Watch what I say. No, just mess with you.
She probably won't watch it anyway, let's be honest.
She actually likes watching all this shit for sure.
Oh.
But she wants almost as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And I almost want to delay it as soon as possible because I'm just like,
Because you're worried about dedicating
wise,
time.
like, like a kid is such a big responsibility, and I'm like still in such a building phase. And also, I don't know about you guys, but like a big part of my motivation was always like financial stability. Like
Kids are expensive.
my parents work super hard, but also I saw them argue about money a lot. So I realized early on, it's like, I need to solve this money problem as soon as I fucking can, And so that's been like a main driver for me. And so
Ideally, is Crystal a stay-at-home mom?
she's open to the idea, and I'm open to the idea, but I'm not going to push her. Like she can decide, and then we'll see.
Yeah. Because if you're, I'm just shooting off the hip, but if you're like a slave to your ambition and you don't think that you would be able to, commit to like being there every single second with your kid, is that like a personal choice? Like you want to be there, or you think you could make it work where you could still pursue the business and, like split the roles a little?
I think honestly, it's just a fallacy. I think it's just something in my head. Like I think I need way more money than I actually do to have a kid. Then also, I think I need to be way more successful or whatever. Have a way bigger business or whatever. Yeah. Like just mentally, people that are broke have kids all the time. Like, and they survive. They find
they find them.
So it's like, I think it's just in my head.
But you want to set an example for your kid too. You want to show them what's possible and what it took you to get there.
No doubt.
Maybe your kids could like become employees.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
Dude, like pump them out early, and by the time they grow up, you get them shooting.
Yeah. At like
That-
5 years old, they start shooting.
That would be fantastic for your bottom line.
Oh, dude. Yeah, you could do that tax right
Now they're not a financial burden.
We're talking about
They're an asset.
they're an asset.
They're-
on your well, we're talking about getting your kids out chopping wood,
Yes.
get them out shooting videos,
Dude, there we go.
working the leads, put them in the boiler rooms.
They're not gonna be able to hold a gimbal. It's gonna be shaking in their head.
Yeah, be like, come on, it's me.
Yeah.
Make your dad proud. Come on.
Come on, Timmy. This is not how we raised you.
That's a good idea, dude.
Well,
You could use that as a bargaining chip when Crystal brings it up again. You
There
know?
you go, man. I think realistically, like 3 years. So I got a I'm working on, and I'm gonna bust my ass.
that's a perfect age. If you're around 30 and you have a kid, think about it. By the time they're grown up and potentially ready to like spread their wings, you're like in your late 40s,
Yeah.
you know, or like maybe like you're 50. Like you still have time to explore the world, enjoy the fruits of your labor, do sports with your kids. Like you're still young.
Yeah, 100%. I'm excited at the opportunity to like grow a human. You know.
Yeah.
Like teach them all the good shit.
See if it's like you.
Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah,
No doubt. But
for sure, man.
What happens if they don't become like you, though?
dude, that's such a great
What if
question.
they don't?
man.
Yeah. What if they don't
Yeah.
have like the traits that you like about yourself?
I think I need to mentally prepare for that situation, but I have a theory that like most humans develop most of it. Like some is attributed to like nature versus nurture, right? But like what percentage is nature versus nurture, and like how much of someone's character is like pre-built into them versus what they learn. Because like all the shit we talk about, like most of who we are today, like we all tied it to stories of our upbringing, like what we were just talking about with
Right,
dads, right?
yeah.
So it's like theoretically, if you stack every single possible scenario to where you can teach your kid a good lesson, like you were talking about, like work ethic wise, in the early ages of their life, the first 10 years of life, like only be a positive influence and only use every opportunity you can to teach them
Yeah.
things that will serve them as a good human. What's the likelihood they'll become a pretty decent human?
True.
being? Pretty high,
Yeah.
I think.
Yes,
It's
totally.
just a theory. I don't know.
Even if they aren't set on growing a huge real estate media business,
Yeah.
they'll still be, you know, stand up guy.
Yeah, it's not about. I don't think I'm going to cast the expectation they have to be an entrepreneur, but I think they'll see what I've done and want to.
Yeah.
Probably just by example.
Well, this has been fantastic.
Been a good
conversation.
time, dude.
It's past my bedtime right now,
I
and
know.
we need to eat still.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go have dinner. Anyways, guys, thanks for staying tuned. This was episode number 1 of the Shooters Gotta Shoot podcast. So thankful for Drew and Jarrett, killers. Where can they find you guys if they want to get in touch?
Quiksell.ca, Quiksell.ca. We don't offer anything for real estate photographers, and we probably won't. But if you're interested in selling a real estate media company in Canada or the US, reach out to us and we'll see what we can do.
Sweet, I like it.
Peace.